Peace and blessings, family. Welcome to another great conversation, African spiritual traditions. I am joined by the Queen Mother. Yay. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. We're going to talk about some of the laws and universal principles of spirituality. We are going to be joined by Ia Colette because she sent me an inbox, so it's probably going to take her a minute to jump in. But I'm so excited for this conversation. And one of the reasons why I really want to talk to you about this conversation, on I think it was Tuesday, we had a sister on who wrote a book that was so awesome. It's for children. It's about mermaids. I think it's Yeye Sweetwaters and the Mean Mermaids, and I'm looking forward to get my copy and this whole thing. But she talked a lot about when people, like right now, African stuff is very hot. African spirituality. You got Beyonce talking about Oshun and Yemaya and all that kind of stuff, which is great. I mean, it's art, you know. But she was saying sometimes people jump in stuff for like the quick fix of like, yeah, I'm with this now, but don't really understand that there are universal principles and laws that exist, that if you mess around with this stuff, you may go on a journey of your life. You know what I mean? And
that's an understatement.
Right. So I'm just trying to say it in a nice way. But when you think about, like, say, in the tradition in which you practice, how should someone, she also said that Orishas pick you, you don't pick Orisha. So, you know, when people see Oshun and she's beautiful and she's all like this, we be like, yeah, I want that. But you don't even know if that's you. You know what I'm saying? Or one time I got a reading from Louisa Tish, and she was doing it was really good reading. And then she said, hold on for a minute. And she was just, you know, she said, yeah, Oya is just trying to help you out through some stuff. But that's not, you know, she's trying to help you. That's not sure we should. So, you know, people sometimes, you know, they see something, go, yeah, that's who I am. That's that. But they don't know there's a whole protocol, and you really shouldn't play with it, honestly. You really shouldn't play with nothing. But I'm just saying, I think sometimes we never get a chance, some of us, to really talk about what does that mean? What are the universal laws of spirituality? Because everything has a cause and effect. There's a law to this.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes it's interesting because with traditional, you have to look at, there is this journey from heaven to earth. And in that journey, that head, that Ori, that soul, is making choices about things that are going to help along the way in their life.
Right on.
You have those things that you can't change. The mother, father, family, you know, that you're being born into, your gender, you know, what you're going to be born as, those things aren't going to change. Okay. But when you start talking about the journey and your destiny and what that destiny is going to be in this lifetime that you're coming into, then you're looking at the choices of Orisha, and that's embedded into the Odu. You're not choosing that. Oludumare and Ifa and Obatala are all helping that to be Kori Koto. They're helping that energy to come with you into the world, because those energies are going to help you during the course of your lifetime. Whether you choose this tradition or not, those energies are going to be there no matter what. Okay. So for me, for example, when I came into this when I was 14. And so at that age, and we're talking about the 60s. Okay. So there was a lot of other things going on during that period of time. You had things like, you know, we had civil unrest, we had civil rights, you know, where everybody there's what I'm in Chicago, and so in Chicago is a hotbed of segregation by neighborhood segregation. Period. I knew what it was like not to even be able to get into Woolworths or um, any of the other restaurants without scrutiny, or you couldn't even sit at the counter,
Mm,
okay, without some drama going on. So these were the things and the energies that were going on. So this is civil rights, okay. I came across a community, which now is Oyatunji, okay, in that period of time, and they were on 31st and South Park. So King hadn't even been killed or assassinated. Malcolm X had not been assassinated yet either.
mm,
Okay. So this is the era that I'm coming into. Okay. The choice of they saw on me from day one with Kyle Richelle readings and other things that as I'm being introduced into this, they saw Shango. I didn't know who Shango was. You know, I didn't know the name, I didn't know anything, but it was a process of learning and an introduction of it. I mean, there's a story behind it, as you know me. There's always a story.
right on, right on.
But I had ran away from home, and I was 14, and I'm mad at my mama. And I decided that I'm gonna go out here on the street and I'm gonna live, and be grown.
Believe.
And I'm ended up sleeping on the park bench because I ain't got no home. But I heard these drums, okay, that were off in the distance, and I'm like, I love to dance anyway. So I go to the sound of the drums. Okay, so I walk down 31st Street, across South Park, because South Park is now King Drive. And
Mm-hmm.
I get to this place, and at the place, and all these people are dancing to congos. Okay. And
Mm,
when they're dancing to congos, there's a rooster, a black rooster in the doorway, tied by a rope, and it's swinging back and forth, back and forth. And I'm like, wow. So when it swung one way, I ducked in past it to get in. Okay. And I went to dance. Okay. And somehow these are all people that were connected to Oyatunji eventually. It was Chief Ajamu. And so Adeniji. So like that whole time was my introduction into this. When they cast cowries, they said, ah, this is child Omo Shango. Well, I don't know what the hell Omo Shango is. Okay. I don't know nothing about it. Okay, but it's my journey. It's the start of what happened. So this is that connection from heaven, earth. Now, 14 years after my birth, they're now saying that this is the Orisha that came through the door with me and had been guiding me. Well, I'm also finding out in that storyline that there were other Orisha that were around too. And they start to teach me about a protocol and a way of being and what I should be doing. And I still, had to process it because I've been trained in where they say in the school of the pharaohs.
mm-hmm.
If you want to call this America, I was trained in the school of the pharaohs. I,
Wow.
you know, I don't know nothing about what this is and how you're supposed to behave. But at least with the introduction, I get an opportunity to hear the name Shango, Yemonja, Oshun, Obatala. I hear these names, and now my interest is peaked up. I need to know what they're about because there's something innate in me that's now saying, I want this, but I don't know what this is.
Mm,
So I eventually start to learn from different people, you know, about what are the rules. What's the engagement? Who are these gods? Because I only knew Jesus. Okay. At that time, I didn't even know Muhammad or Allah or anybody else. I just knew Jesus, because I'm a kid. That's what my grandmother knew. That's what my mama knew,
Right, right.
you know. So we're learning, you're learning along the way that there's something different. There's something, more. It also, in finding out about that soul journey there, I also found that there were things that if I thought it, I could do it. If I could dream it, it would happen. So when I had been asking my mother and other people about why is this happening, I just dreamed about this. This is happening to me. They say, well, you don't know if that's the devil or not, and I'm like,
Mm.
what devil? What's what, I had a dream. So what are you talking about? But with these people from this Ile Ife temple in Chicago were able to help me to connect to, well, when you're dreaming, that's just telling that your ancestors are talking to you. Your egg bed is talking to you. And I'm like, okay, what's that? And so the more I ask what's that, then they start to tell me who the Orisha are. Okay. Who is Oludumare? Who is Ifa? All these things start to come together. And for me, who was Shango?
Mm.
Okay. Because that definitely played into my temperament. Okay. So as we can say, I'm a little fiery of a personality during this Mars retrograde here. But
Right on.
it definitely taught me about, that I can think my way out of things real quick. You know, I can, but I can also get into stuff real quick too. So there were things about the personality and the characteristics of Shango that helped me to understand the personality and characteristics of then Pat, now Fayomi.
Mm.
Okay. So, or Obaginde, because that was the other name that I had. So,
So, with all the names you had, can you tell me some of the meanings of those names? I'm always
okay.
fascinated.
All right. Well, Fayomi is Ifa saves me. I'm a Faladay, which is that robe that is, that crown actually, the crown that Ifa crowns me with. I am Egbe Yimiki, which is Egbe surrounds me. Um, Omo Modele, the child returns home. So yeah, I got a bunch of them. Falomo, you know. Um, you name it, I got.
Right on, right on. So, have you ever had any time in your journey met with some people who were not the real thing? And how did you know they weren't the real thing?
Mm.
You know, I have. Okay. And what's amazing about that part was that the authenticity of their makeup, because they weren't Nigerian. They were actually from Cameroon. Okay. And he's still living, so I can't got to be careful with the names and stuff. But yeah, I ain't got no money, can't sue me, okay? But he presented himself as a priest when in fact he was a tailor.
What?
The man, a tailor. He was a tailor. He made clothes. Man could make some sweet clothes. But he also presented himself as a consecrated priest.
Wow.
Okay. And so he was teaching Yoruba tradition, but he was from Cameroon.
Ah,
Okay. And I know, what was my turn off? I had been going to him for months. Okay. And, I had that itch inside of me that says, oh, something ain't right here. But, the itch was there. And so one day I had to bring a chicken for Ebo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had them in a paper bag inside the trunk of my car. The chicken got out of the bag. And so he running around in the trunk of my car. I'm trying to get the bird without, trying to go in and out of the trunk, trying to grab the bird. And this chief priest comes out and he snatched the bird up and walked into the shop. And I'm walking behind because I couldn't get the bird and I'm feeling all kind of screwed up behind it. And then he turned on me and said, I'm not here to teach EFI 101. And he caught me like that energy that he threw at me. And I'm like, what I'm here for then? Okay. You're supposed to be teaching me EFI 101. You can't teach me EFI 101. You mad because you had to get a chicken out the trunk of the car? Come on.
Mm.
And that day was the day that I walked out of there. Okay. And did not come back because it was not right. I knew it wasn't right. The thing
Wow.
of it is that teachers are willing. They should be willing. Okay. To
Yeah.
to teach. Okay. It's an opportunity to share what you know about something you love.
Mm.
You love Oludumare, you love Ifa, you love Shango, you love Oya, you love Orisha, the Arumule. I'm glad, you know, to say, hey, this is how we do it. This is what they do. This is what they did in my life. So him throwing it up in my face saying, I ain't teaching Nephi 101, told me, you're right, you're not teaching that, so it's time for me to go.
Mm.
Mm.
So I bounced. Okay. Sometimes people also, when they come across situations where they're not really getting the information that they need, part of that is because I didn't ask the question of in the first place. Do
Mm.
you know do you know Ifa? Do you know Shango? Do you know what this is about?
Mm.
Okay. I didn't investigate. I didn't try to find out what was going on. If he had good information or not good information, was he trained? Was he certified? Okay. To do what were the proper protocols even to find out? I didn't do that. I just kind of blindly went in because he was African. So because he's African, he got to know.
Mm.
Okay. And a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Just because he's African, he got to know the truth. He got to be able to connect me back to my source. And he
Mm.
couldn't connect me to the corner. Okay.
I grew up with I was thinking.
Oh, shit, yeah, boy.
I'm sorry, I need to
So,
get that out.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
What
you
if
know,
the
like
person have on a
you
bunch
know,
of elekis? I'm sorry if I'm about to play. Go ahead.
like when we come into African tradition, a lot of times it's romance, and people who are highly spiritual are attracted to spiritual things, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you got all the political education that goes along with being a pan-Africanist. It don't
Mm.
mean that you know the history of the continent and colonialism and all of
Right.
that, because that would give you some context with dealing with people from the continent from different spaces, because you
Mhm.
understand what the history of where they from is, and
Mhm.
so you can know the questions to ask. But everybody's not like that. Somebody like you is 14. You know what I'm saying? I can
Right.
relate to that. Like all I do was Jesus. That's it. I'm here. you know, and coming from a like holiness church or something like that, where the spirituality is super high. Like you
Yeah.
feel it's kinesthetic. Like you have that experience of spirituality. it attracts you to ritual. It attracts you to the
Absolutely.
and if you didn't have any experience like with the All African People Revolutionary Party or the Nation of Islam, or all these places where they'll be like, here's the deal with Africa. Like, not just like that's a blanket generalization, but to just, I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like, you could be attracted to just somebody. I remember one time I was at my godparents' house and this man came. He was from Nigeria, and there's a Ifa Modupe song. So he was singing the song and teaching everybody the song, and everybody was learning the song, and it was feeling good. And then all of a sudden it took a turn because he was like, yeah, so I could marry you. And I was like, no. Not doing that. Because you know the song. We're not doing that.
It ain't that party.
Yeah, so I mean, this is like what you're dealing with. Everybody out here trying to get theirs. Like, you gotta really think about them questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for you, because man, it's a lot of pitfalls out there. We just say that.
It is a lot, baby. It is a lot. I'm telling you. I mean, like, I have jumped in some craters, okay? I mean, some real craters, and I'd be like, oh, it ain't nothing but Ori and my Risha that got me up out of there.
I say.
Okay.
So when people have elekis on, because I think sometimes people see those and be like, this person must know everything, or this person is a priestess or a priest, or like, how do you discern that?
Well, there's this other part about consecrated versus off the wall that you just went to a botanica and picked up off the wall and put on. Okay.
Okay, break
There's
that
a
down.
process of, in tradition, that if a person is got an initiation to an orisha, or that they get that aleke as part of the packaging of equipment that you're going to be using, just using these normal words so that people have a better understanding of, but you're getting that and it has been fed. It has been consecrated with prayer. There are things around that energy that enhances your energy. Okay. But when people just got some beads on, they're just beads. Okay. But a spiritual person should be able to discern that. Okay. There's an energy around that aleke. Okay. And sometimes you ain't got to even wear aleke zulu. I knew the day I met Baba Fashina Faladay. Okay. He had on some blue jean overalls, a leather jacket, a leather hat turned over to the side. But I knew that man was a priest. He didn't have no electeds on. No, nothing. I knew him to be something special because of the energy that he carried. Okay. So when I said I'm looking for Baba Fashina, and he said, "You looking for me?" I knew I was home because I didn't have to worry about the outer trappings that some people see, but that is disguising who they are in truth. You wear lekkes all day long, but if your internal spirit isn't always righteous, then you're gonna have a problem too. Those lekkes are to help protect you, okay? And it's also to honor and revere the Orisha that you are walking with, and that's offering that protection. That's why you have to treat them in a special kind of way. Okay. So you're not just some beads that you got off the wall in the shop. So these are things that are different. You should be able to utilize that intuitive discernment to see, yeah, did you just string them up? You know, Or did you just get them out the store?
Right.
Do they even have some Florida water on them? You know, what you got on those? Did they make some old barrel? Did they bless the water that they put in? What did they do?
Did you do something to them?
Right, but you just put them on. So sometimes those things are for show. See, prayer, invocation, incantation are things that energize objects, icons. So when those things are energized, blood is an energy. Okay. So those things have that energy and it stays there
Yeah.
because it has attracted that Orisha around you to help you. Okay. Now I like this one because it's pretty. Okay. This is my pretty one from my Kuta. I like this one. I wear it all the time. And it's consecrated. Okay. So, but if I don't have none of this stuff on, okay, what's inside of me? How do you know I'm a praying woman? Do you know that I fall on my face to a rumula? You know, it is my walk in such a way that you know that I'm connected spiritually to something special. Cause that should tell you something. Not just cause they look good, Baba look good. Okay. Yeah, yeah, look good. No, that's not enough. you know.
He
Yeah,
got all the beads, all the African clothes. No, honestly, like, you know what? I think I'm prejudiced because when we was growing up, it was a lot of dope dealers around, right? And so you had different kinds of people based on, you could tell people's upbringing, no matter what they was into.
true.
Like, there's the guy who's dressed nice. He got on his watch and his one little ring and maybe a chain or something like that, right? And then there's the guy who got on all his jewelry at one time.
He
You
looking
know
to
who I'm
get
talking
stuck
about,
up.
right? All
He
rings,
really looking to get stuck
bracelets,
up.
watches, chains, just all
Mhm.
he just got on all the jewelry, right? So that's how some people are about their Alekes in the day. Like they gotta put on everything, all of
Everything.
it, all at one time. They got Native American stuff. They got they got juju bags. They got
Oh God,
alligator.
yeah.
They got. I mean, they just got all the stuff on. It's just. Sometimes I think like that's got to be part of the show and the parade, not
Well,
you know.
part of it is it just the show, or are they so afraid? Are they afraid? You know, like
Yeah,
if I don't show all this stuff, you're not gonna know I'm something special. A lot
yeah.
of times it's the insecurity. Okay. Now, see, the guy with all the jewelry wants you to know he wealthy, but he wealthy with what he got on right there. So if you go
Right.
stick,
This is
you
it.
need
What
to
you see
stick
is
him
what
up
you
for
get.
everything he got right then and there. Okay. That's how you do that one. Okay.
And I'm not to just pick on the dudes, like it was women like that too. Like, rings on every single finger, all of the tennis bracelets that you ever got in your
That's
whole
no
life
problem.
since you was a teenager.
Yep.
And
Oh, in Chicago, it's the first
And he'd
book,
be like,
baby.
you know who I
Y'all
am?
have to have that diamond mink coat on in the
right,
summertime.
you got your fur coat on, and it's not quite winter, but winter's coming. So
He got to look the part. What he
Gotta
think
look
right.
the part is.
got I said you
Well,
gotta
yeah, yeah.
look special.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right. Sister said for a person for a first time, how do you know which Aleke is for you? Can you give that or see in dreams on your neck? So she's asking about those Alekes. That's a good
In,
question
in the
if people
sense
don't
of
know.
it, here again, before somebody puts something on you, okay, they should ask the oracle itself. Did you go to that Orisha? Did you ask Eshu? You know, did that priest ask for if this should be given to this person? So we are talking about a first time.
Right.
Then the protocol is to go to your oracle and find out if this is something you should be doing. You know, is it this person's destiny even to be in this system? Okay, that's another question that, but the oracle is going to know. The person should have a priest, consecrated priest, telling them that this is what they should have and should be wearing for their protection. And they should be telling them about what that deity is and why you should follow them. Okay. If they see it in a dream on their neck, it may only mean that that deity that this represented of is covering them. No more, no less. You
Mm,
have to go to the deity and ask. You know, just don't put something on.
mm,
It should never be where, or you go to a certifiable, consecrated priest that is going to petition that deity for you to find out exactly what you're supposed to do. Because anything less than that is disrespect.
right on.
Okay.
Yep.
That's real talk. I hope that answered your question, dear sister. Um, so I guess another question would be in this spiritual tradition, say if somebody was out there initiating people, giving out fake lekis, doing offerings and all that kind of stuff. In your system, is there a way for there to be accountability?
You have systems here in the United States. It's a difficult thing because it's not that it's new, it's that the community has not organized itself in a way where they are going to challenge that person doing it. Okay. So for example, I'm the Iabia Warbayan, okay, of Ife. I have a chieftaincy title. In that chieftaincy title, there are things that I can do. Okay. Um, but one of the things that I cannot do is pretend like I got the power to say, I'm gonna shut you down. Okay. I can't shut anybody down, but I can tell you the truth. Okay. Joe Blow over there doesn't have any certifiable who are his godparents,
Mm,
who initiated him, how long was he initiated, who did he train with, okay, who did they train with. There's a track record. Okay, that's what I can do. I can point out truthfully, this person was initiated in 2015 and he really does not have enough training because it was inconsistent. Okay, I can say the truth. And I can say he's giving this. All right, let's look at the ritual. What was done in the ritual? Who was fed? What Orisha was fed? What wasn't fed? You know, what were the steps? Do you remember the steps that you went through? Did they take your clothes? Did they, do these different steps in the process of this ritual that you're supposed to have? Okay. And when that is missing, I can go to that person because now after the complaint has come to me and I got all your information, I can go to Joe Blow over here and say, dude, this is what I know about you. Why are you doing this? Because you're hurting not only this person, you're hurting our community. Now I understand you want to make your money, baby, but look, you also need to get a job, a different kind of job. Because
mm,
is not one you're qualified for. Be qualified in this position, okay? Because this is a very sacred position. It means something, and people trust you, and they care about what you're giving them. So if you're not, they find out that you're not giving them what they're supposed to have, they're going to turn on you, and it's not going to be good for you down the road. Now, I can't stop you from doing what you're doing, but I can tell elders what you do. Okay. And when I tell them, sometimes they listen to me. Now, maybe they might pray and divine about it themselves. Maybe they'll go ahead and do elbow about it. Maybe they might feed other Orisha to find out what they should do about what you're doing. Now you got a whole community of priests that's looking down your throat.
Mm.
Okay. Do you want that kind of drama?
I don't think so.
Okay.
At least I wouldn't think so, but
I wouldn't think so either, unless they don't believe, and even the one thing I love about Ifa is it does not require me. Isheshe does not require me to believe in it. It is. Period. It works. Period. They don't need me to believe like some people have to believe on the cross. Okay?
mm.
It doesn't need that. It works.
So dear sister in here is asking what is meant by the oracle.
When I talk about the oracle, I'm talking about Ifa oracle. Okay. I'm talking about them little 32 to more seeds that I have from 4I King cola nut that I am actually divining with an opele, which by the way, I got mine here. Okay. So I'm up here divining with that, or picking them up. Okay. And that's who I go to.
Right on. Right on. So say if someone was initiated or did spiritual work with someone and they found out that this person wasn't who they said they were, weren't trained or whatever, or in bad standings, or because can people be in bad standings in this system?
Well, you can get a bad reputation and people give you the side eye, but it takes a lot for you to get really kicked. Okay. And they don't work like that. Okay. It's not the same way that, in certain ministries, okay, that word of mouth or the organization itself would say, we strip this person of their responsibilities to minister to these people. Okay. Like I said, here in the United States, we have certain organizations like in Lukumi, they have their own structure, they have their own hierarchy, and they have their own way of dealing with folks that don't abide by protocols. Okay. In the same instance, in Nigeria, I know I got elders. I had
Mm.
elders that I got to look to. And to be honest, before I'm afraid of them, I'm afraid of Oludumare. Okay. In the sense of, I don't want to be that person to disappoint that I'm not doing the right thing. Okay. Um, I was ventured to say that if there is something that's done, you got a couple of organizations. You got a Boni organization that has the right to challenge a priest. Okay. You have the hierarchy of Ifa organizations and those elders there that have the right to challenge a priest globally. Okay. Um, and the bottom line is that even if they don't say anything in the public eye, what are they doing private? Okay. What is the deities that they have petitioned to say that person is not doing what they're supposed to do? Then you got the outcry of the community. That's another side. Because the outcry of the community ain't nothing like your 1 minute you got 1,000 people in your organization, and then tomorrow you got five
Mm.
because of your behavior. Okay. So that's something to consider. Far be it that other things happen. Okay. Meaning that the psychological impact that can have. Okay. The physical impact that can have and happen to you from just the shame of it. So
Mm.
I personally would not, I would not recommend anyone to do, but that doesn't stop people because sometimes they think that they're doing the right thing by their own mind. Because you got people like that. You have priests that are like that, unfortunately.
Mm. Mm. Ifa Modupe, I
Yes.
only put you on mute because if like you type or something, then we get to hear the little keys. But I know you got something to add to that. So I want to make sure I can hear the information clearly. Anything you want to add to that, Ifa Modupe?
No, no, I
I'm
don't have
typing.
No, I mean, I'm typing too, but my
uh,
mic ain't hear
I'm
it, so it,
sorry.
it
I'm
don't.
sorry.
Thank God.
um, I don't,
That's all.
you know, I don't have a lot of experience with I'll put it to you like this. I've seen some people get out of pocket in different ways. But I don't have a lot of experience with recourse. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something
Mm.
that's new to me. And I've been kind of like and yeah, you probably could tell you we've had a few conversations about just things that I've witnessed and experienced that I felt like maybe we could begin to have that conversation here in the States about
Mm,
how when things are going to the left, we're going to
the
challenge
right.
people who are, way out on a limb doing something real weird. And especially where it tends to harm other people and their children involved. Those are the things that, especially children, like that's a thing where, I've noticed that sometimes it's difficult for people to stand up, but also that needs to happen. But the other part
Hmm.
of it is that, does anybody have your back? Because, if a person is bold enough to do something that will harm a child or another human being, they won't think nothing of fighting you because you put them on blast. You
Mm.
know what I mean? They won't think nothing of it.
Oh yeah.
So then you got to circle your wagons. Like you got to figure out what it is you need to do in order to have that, to have the protection that you need in order to do that. So it becomes a situation where because we rely heavily on priests that are in Nigeria, where we have a lot of initiated people in the States. And I think that we should start having some conversations about how to organize ourselves around the people who are initiated into Ogboniko, um,
Hmm.
and um, and
Mm.
and build some structures for accountability because the more people have families that are fully initiated and children that have other callings outside the expertise of their parents and they have to rely on other adults with their child and
Hmm.
we got to start to build the trust back into our community. That's something that we need to do regardless of the tradition, but it's very important that we can take advantage of the information that's here, right? So
Right.
I think, as I would feel comfortable if I had a child sending her to yay, sending some money to me, like, can you just train? Can you just train her? You know what I mean? Like, but I also know some men that know things that are very useful. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That I don't necessarily feel like I would just be able to pack my kid up and be like, here, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I,
So,
I truly understand that. I truly understand that. Here's the thing. For years, there have been attempts since the early 80s of organizing here the priests, where you
mhm,
had the EPOC, the EPOC religion organization, you've had a Rita conference, you had all these different groups
yeah,
that have been responsible to organize. Okay. What I have found, and I'm a member, okay? Don't get twisted. I'm still a member of these organizations.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm the Youngsters International, okay? Um, the International Council of Five Religions, okay? Yeah. Um, the problem is maintaining that organization and the rules to go beyond a conference, okay? They get to the conference, they have the jubilees, they have, the song, the dance, the ritual, and then what you doing? Okay. The real work is getting into your communities. How are you protecting my family? Okay. How are you come now? You want me to pay dues every month? Then how are you educating me? What are you providing for worship? Because if, at all times this is still about worship. Okay. And then while we're doing worship, are you helping me get a job? Are you helping me put food on my table by praying and giving cola to Ifa or anyone else, even when I don't ask you to? Okay. How are you helping to educate my family, and how you helping to keep our families together in this cohesive society, in this cohesive organization? Okay. So yeah, these organizations have been trying to pull it together and do something, and then they turn around and go, poof. We actually have an Araba here that was assigned to us. That was our oracle, and is supposed to work for developing. But if the people don't help him organize and come in and help and say, okay, I got this neighborhood, you got that neighborhood, we're going to do this. Okay. If we're not doing those things and coming together to do these things, then you ain't doing nothing. See, it has to be a concerted effort. There are too many people that end up in these organizations that want to be cheap, cheap, cheap,
mm,
cheap. But ain't no followers. Okay. You don't have a program and a format. Okay. So what are we doing? What is the process? Okay. You have people that don't know what an Odu is, don't know don't know what these Orisha are, don't know the attributes. That should be second nature. We've had Ifa in this country for over 50 years. Why isn't that? Some of these kids don't know that.
mhm.
Okay. Why is it that people that are in the conscious community, children don't know that? Okay. So, how are we doing this? It has to start back to basics. I understand it takes a concerted effort from all of us to pull together. But then there's also trust factors. Do I trust you? Not just with my money, okay? There ain't a whole lot of people I trust with my money. All right, period. I got bills, just like everybody else. I got bills, so don't. But do I trust you to know what Ifa is saying for me? Okay. Or are you using Ifa in your leadership position just to get to my head for certain other nefarious reasoning?
Mm.
Okay. Or do I know, I got to trust you? See, the people I go to in Nigeria have gone through the tried and the true with me. Okay. They knew me when I didn't have a dime. They helped me when I didn't have a dime. Okay. They opened their hearts to me because I didn't have a dime and I wasn't going to be able to give them anything. So I trust them because that's the trust. They gave me their heart and said, you know what? If I said take care of you, we're going to take care of you. And the day they did that, my life started to move exponentially because there was a trust factor. But more importantly, I trusted in Ifa. I trusted in Ori. I trusted in my Egbe. I trusted in my Egungun to let me know that these persons were trustworthy. And that's the thing. We have to have organization here. We have to have it because it has now gotten too big not to.
Mm.
Okay. But I ain't following anybody down the rim, the road. Okay. If I don't know who they are, I wouldn't care if they was pretty dick. Okay. I ain't doing that. It ain't happening. I gotta know they know Ifa. And that's it. And because I'm not trusting my people or my family to just anybody. And
Mm.
that's how I roll. Okay. It's best to be that way.
Well,
I'd
that's
rather be safe than sorry. And you know, okay, so we tried it with the okay, so I was thinking about this the other day. The holiness movement, the Pentecostal church movement, was something that Black people built from the ground up. It was our own
Yep.
brand of Christianity, right? Just a highly spirited brand of Christianity. And the pitfalls that we ran into trying to organize that are similar to the ones that we, and it's about how we move. It's not about the religion itself. It's about
Right.
how we move, right? We show up for the convocation. We want to party, sing, dance, and everybody know the songs. Everybody
Yep.
know the everybody
Yep.
know the dances. Everybody know enough scriptures to get up there and preach their little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to actually empowering Black people to live better lives, it starts to get complicated. The accountability when things get out of whack, when somebody's character comes into question, the level of accountability that leadership is willing to come under that kind of scrutiny begins to be questionable because people will buck, and they buck for a lot of reasons. The same reasons that we complain about everything is this, like
Mm-hmm.
patriarchy, white supremacist delusion. It's the same
Right.
kind of witchcraft that we under here, that if we don't address those like core value issues, we're not going to be able to make the leap to become really a
Mm-hmm.
conscious community of a conscious spiritual community, like what we need in order to be interdependent and really build something with a strong structural base. Like, and so I think that what you're saying is absolutely right, because I see how you teach to make sure that your people know. I see how you extend love, and so you build community in that way. And and somebody who would want to either partner with you or like
Mm-hmm.
have you come into their structure would have to at least be doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
They would at least have to have created a safe space with accountability and integrity. And that's one thing, like, I think that a lot of people have issues with. They don't want to be under that kind of scrutiny. They don't want to be
But
accountable on that level. It in this
mhm,
disguised as this is how we do things. This what my and I was like, that's us wanting to be special. Like, that's the
yeah,
same thing to me as jumping out there with all your beads on. It's like
with the detail, right, right.
you just want to be special. Like,
Yeah,
it's okay to be unique. You came into the world uniquely.
Right
Like,
mhm,
on.
you have your own spiritual gifts. Like, build that, nurture that,
right.
grow that. You don't have to be out here trying to be the, you know.
Uh-huh. You don't. And that's so true. I think that at the end of the day, we got checks and balances within Elay Wanson, okay? And
Mm.
it's not, it is not what Ye say, okay? It's not what I said all. It's really what he says here.
Mhm.
Because I know that if I have to go to Ifa on a regular basis, and if I don't go to Ifa, Ifa's gonna check me. It has a way of reaching in and saying, "Man,
Yeah,
come back over here.
yeah.
Let's have this talk." Okay. And whether that is by my egg base sending me a message in the dream saying, "You better go talk to Betty," you know, or events have taken place, I have to do this. Okay. I have to do this. Anybody that's going to come into this should be doing that much. They
Yeah.
should be, you know, Maluo used the one word that struck my heart. And that's why I followed him down the rabbit hole. Share. He shared information with me. He didn't have a problem talking about Ifa all day, all night, whatever. And he would get tired. I know he would get tired of my voice. I got these crying babies on me trying to listen to every word he got because it's like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I need it.
That's it.
Okay. But he was providing that. Okay. Now, we all got those up little personality quirks. Okay.
Yeah.
He had his, I got mine. Everybody got personality quirks. Okay. However, we also all know the difference between right and wrong. We all know that Ifa is a spiritual developer of your personality and life. So Ifa's not going to tell you to go out here and rob nobody.
Mm.
Right.
So why are you robbing people in your place of business, your religious place of business? Ifa's not going to tell you to hurt anybody physically. So why are you putting your hands as a priest on another woman? Okay?
Mm.
Ifa's not going to tell you to behave in ways that are out here that show you to be you're a drug addict, alcoholic, and you just out here rolling like that. If
Mhm.
I ain't gonna tell you that, it's always the middle path. So why are we behaving in such a way that is contrary to that? So if I'm gonna partner with anybody, I'm doing my homework. Okay, I need to know who you are.
Right.
I need to know that as a woman, you are walking upright. My Lord said something to me many years ago, and everybody done heard this, about I'm not down wearing pips and hoochie coochie mamas. Okay? We can't be dealing with no I'm not down wearing pimp and hoochie coochie mamas.
Right.
Okay? I ain't out here trying to blow and show. Okay, I ain't, sitting down for a die and then before you can get up, I'm like, ha 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 ha, gonna go flip on something. No,
Right.
you don't do that. You don't do that. What is wrong with you? You know, and
Now, as soon as you get a reading, now I gotta see if you my wife.
hello, that was a nice way of putting it. Okay,
But you're not gonna ever really be his wife. You,
no, you gonna be part of the
something.
the harem, baby. Okay. Now we got polygamy, but polygamy has rules and regulations.
Uh,
You're building families. Polygamy ain't just because I want to have an orgy.
right.
Okay? No. You got children. You want to teach your daughters and sons that that's what they're for.
Right.
Yep.
Okay? We got to do better than that. We
Mhm.
have to do better than that. I want my daughters, my sons, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, my great grandchildren, because I got them to know that this is a safe religion.
Yeah.
This is a safe place for them to be. That they can worship without having to worry about somebody trying to trip them up
Right.
and do something or force them with spiritual means to do something against their will.
Right.
Okay? They have to be safe. My sons have to be safe. Okay? Because it ain't just about my daughters, it's about I got sons. Okay? They gotta be safe.
Yeah.
And they should not be subjected to crap like that. Okay. So we have to be able to, for organizations, have lay some ground rules. We got ground rules embedded in E5 that teach you about benevolence, that teach you about honesty and truthfulness.
Mhm.
Okay. Kindness and compassion. Okay. But we also have things that say you got to toe the line with your personality.
Mhm.
Okay. You got choices. Everybody got choices here.
Yep.
Okay. So we have to be able to show them where those choices lay and what deities that they need to align themselves with in accordance to their own personal destiny. Okay. Because they need to know that and know how to operate in that way so that they are operating in a way that makes the community grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I don't see as it could be. We should be growing exponentially. Okay. We need to be further ahead than where we are, but we have to be able to do the work.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
true.
And that's the thing that I'm concerned with. Yeah. What am I, and every day I go out, what am I doing one day more to help my community grow? What am I doing one day more to help me grow?
I should.
Okay. Am I seeking a better understanding of each other every day? Okay. I'm still hungry for that deeper medicine and get mad when I can't get it.
Right.
Okay.
Right on.
Because I need healing too. I definitely need healing. Okay, like I told you this morning about that guinea fowl running around in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, I did not know I could run. Okay, I haven't been running like, well, Ifa showed me you can run, girl.
Right.
Run.
That's real talk. Wow.
Oh God.
Well, family, this was a great conversation, like a much needed conversation with some of the stuff we
Yeah.
got going on around here. But I also think someone out there I guess we have to keep trying to organize our folks on a lot of different levels. And it feels like the trick is, for me, the trick is if you come out of the Abrahamic religions, sometimes you be running away from anything that has structure like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
You know, because for some of us, that's the only structure we know. So, because we can't offer up nothing new if we didn't, unless something
Why
come to
you
you in
come
a dream.
to live? Yeah,
Yeah, but I think sometimes that's one of the hardest things is to try to come up with something new, where it doesn't sound or feel like the old um, world structure or something.
yeah.
It's such a double-edged sword sometimes. Because we know we need some sort of structure
Hmm.
to where people can check each other and be very honest. And um, I don't know. My final question for you, yeah, yeah, is: do you think something like this could possibly happen, where we will get?
I think
Oh,
so. I think so. I think it comes out of more of an understanding and a need for it to be a structure, okay, in a more organized way. I think that we wouldn't have had places like in Oyatunji, okay, and other places that tried to build a compound. Now, their success rate, okay, to a certain extent, was not always there. But the idea was to put it down in land. Where's our land? Okay. What is it that we own? What is it that we can say and put stakes down and say, over here is our farmland or our supply. I got goats over there for a fire. I got cows over there. I got chickens over there. And it also the meat is to community is to feed the community. Okay.
mm,
We can do this. Okay, but we have to have agreement that just because I disagree with your particular idea doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It just means that we got to work on it and help me to understand what would make it go. Okay. We have to have the willingness to have the conversation because sometimes we don't even have the willingness to have the conversation because we still got the male female energies of conflict. Okay. You Baba, I yeah. Okay. We still having all these other different types of non really non-serious. They're not serious. They're not serious things that should prohibit us from growing and
No.
being able to develop into the power that we're supposed to do. Okay? It can happen. But we have to get out of our own ways. Um, as it goes here, I'm more than willing to partner with some folks about, let's grow as Edmund. I got my organization, you got your organization, you got your organization. But we come together just like the Pentecostals, they came together. The biggest organization in this country was the Baptist Convention back in
mm,
the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Okay? They were huge because they got out of their way and had those conversations with organizations. I'm not saying for us to do what they did. I'm just saying that we need to have the conversation just to even think about it. Okay. How we because together we are a force to be reckoned with. Okay. And if you don't understand that we have a system that works, that heals. We know Ifa heals cancer. We know Ifa heals broken hearts. We know Ifa heals broken hearts. We know Ifa will heal disease, mental and physical, spiritual disease. We know Ifa does this. So if we know this, why can't we sit down and organize ourselves in a way that at least your organization has your own autonomy, but together we're going to work to do this, to come together to do that. You
Yeah.
know, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is. Get out of our way, okay? Because we have to start looking at what is our family. Our families are also a part of a community, and our community is also a part of a global world. We're a big part of that. Think about it. We are over 4 million people. Well over as an organized religion. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to actually start to think about what does that look like and start planting those seeds.
Mm,
Okay.
right on, yeah. Right on. All right, y'all. This was a great conversation.
Yes.
Great conversation on this Thursday. A lot to think about. A lot to think
Yeah.
about. 'Cause we are who we've been waiting for. We just got to get in there and do the work and get out the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on this guinea fowl that gotta die.
Oh Lord, y'all, we will be back again. It was nice talking to you all, and we're gonna get out of here. Yeah, all that good stuff. So
Okay.
we'll see y'all again. Peace, family.